So you want to do some gorgeous 3D nail art, but you can't draw to save your life. Well, don't you worry, I got you. Let's grab some 3D decals and do a little nail cheating instead of drawing and learn how to do 3D nail decals. They are so much easier than I ever thought they would be. I'm going to start off with my dip powder. This one is called Constant Vigilance, and it is so gorgeous. I knew it would look really good with these 3D nail decals that I got off AliExpress. If you're nervous about using 3D decals and you want to just try some, you're not sure if you'll even like them, I ordered a bunch off AliExpress, oh my gosh, probably a year or two ago, and then I've just been using them sporadically here and there. If you want to order nail stuff off AliExpress, this is what I've realized. I can use the ones that are the 3D decals, the 5D decals, or the stickers, and that quality seems to be pretty consistent. Some of the other things that I've ordered off there, like little nail gems and stuff like that, the quality is not that great, but if you're just doing the 3D and 5D waterslide decals or nail decals or any of the stickers, the quality's been pretty consistent across getting it, anywhere else, anywhere off Amazon. Now, the one thing, if you're ordering decals or anything off AliExpress, you can expect it to take at least 2 months. I want to say the quickest that I ever got something from AliExpress was about a month. That was probably, it was just under a month that I got one of my nail packages. If I was to buy something right now it is, as I'm filming or as I'm doing the voiceover, it is October 31st. So if I wanted to buy something for Christmas, I would probably have to place the order right now. Most likely if I was buying something now, I'd be buying for winter mayonnaise that I want to do in January and any Valentine's Day mayonnaise or spring mayonnaise that I want to do. I would plan that far in advance if you're buying from AliExpress. Now, maybe the shipping has gotten better. Like I said, I haven't bought anything there in probably a year. Of all the 5D and 3D decals I've tried, has been really nice. And that's what I decided to use on these. I've had these little black and white stickers or black and white water slide decals that I showed you guys in the beginning. I've had them for at least a year, probably close to 2. I first got all my decals before I found all the cool small businesses that do all these decals and do way more in-depth ones. I mean, they don't really do the 3D ones, but they do really cool water slides and stuff like that. I was buying everything off AliExpress because it was so much cheaper than buying it off Amazon. So I'll make sure I go back through my AliExpress account and find the link to all these different places that I bought nail decals from. I don't know if they'll still have them, every single one, but I'm certainly going to try to find all these for you guys. I'm finishing up doing the color dips here. You'll notice whenever you're using gels, you want to make sure that you pour over the shimmers and solids over your nail before you cure them. You don't want to dip when you're into powder when you're using gels. If you try to dip into a powder when you're using gels, the gel will just totally gunk up on, push up towards the top. It's not like when you have a dip liquid and you can actually dip into the dip powder. And even when I use dip liquids, I never like to dip into anything. When I'm doing glitters, whether I'm using gels or dip liquids, I always lay my nail flat onto the glitters or foils, and that gives me really the best application. And when I pour over for shimmers and solids, that gives me a really nice even application, and it keeps my layers nice and thin, which is something that I always want to do. I want to try to keep all my layers really thin, whether I'm using dip liquids or gel liquids. For me, I've noticed I tend to be a little heavier handed on the gel liquids than I am with the dip liquids, so I have to really be cognizant of that and make sure I'm not doing super thick layers when I'm doing gel, especially if I'm doing gel with chunky glitters. I've done it a couple times where I haven't really been paying attention apparently, and I've made my chunky glitters that I'm dipping with gels super chunky and thick. So that's something you want to be careful about when you're doing gels. Another thing that you want to be really careful about is you want to make sure that you don't cure any gel on your skin. I talk about this every single time. The more you cure gel on your skin, the more likely you are to develop a gel allergy, and we definitely don't want that. We want to do whatever we can to avoid that. Once you apply your color on to your nails, then you'll cure them for 30 to 60 seconds, depending on what your base says. Then you'll do a layer of gel base over your entire nail and cure those for, again, either 30 to 60 seconds, whatever your instructions say. And then you can wipe off the tacky layer, do any filing and shaping, any buffing. And that's where that's where I am right now. That's the spot I am. I've filed, I've shaped. I really rarely do any buffing on my nails when I'm using gels to dip. So once I've done all that, they're all shaped nicely. I apply another layer of gel base over my entire nail and I cure that for 20 seconds. The gels that I'm using now cure in 30 seconds for the base. So I like to cure my nails for 20 seconds when I'm using a small decal like this that's not a full cover, because I like to move it around. When you're doing the 3D decals, they're a bit sturdier than the regular water slide decals. They don't seem to come apart as easily. I like to be able to move them around a bit more, and you want to soak it in a little bowl of water for usually 20 plus seconds. I notice that they take a little longer to separate from the water slide backing as compared to just regular water slides that aren't 3D. The 3D ones, I think it's because they're so much like stronger and thicker. It takes a little bit longer to separate them from that backing. And then all you have to do is place it on your nail. Now you want to make sure most of the liquid is off. That's why you saw me take a lint-free paper or lint-free wipe, kind of flip it upside down back and forth to kind of dab all the water out. You place it on your nail exactly where you want it and then start pressing down on top of it. And since your nail is not fully cured, you have to be a little careful. You don't want to press it so much that then you're squishing the gel around. You just want to basically press the top. See, I'm like gently pressing the top and pressing the sides so that it sticks, but not that you're shoving the gel around, because then once you've done, like I'll do my second little decal here. I have like a smaller rose, and then I cured that nail gel base for 20 seconds. And then once I get that applied, I'll go back through and I'll cure it for the other 10 seconds to really make sure that decal is adhered really, really well. And that was a trick that I've learned through doing these decals with gels. I found that doing gels is really, really great for doing the 3D decals, because then once you have the gels on and they're all adhered to your nails, I like to go in with 2 layers of gel base over top of it. So I'll do 1 layer, fully cure that, another layer, fully cure that. And even though it kind of encapsulates the 3D nail art, the nail art still looks 3D under those 2 layers of gel base. If you want it to look extra 3D, you only have to do 1 layer of gel base over top of it and then 1 layer of gel top over it. But I'm really rough on my hands, so I like my mayonnaise to last really long. I don't want to worry about, scratching my hand against something and part of the decal like being messed up. So I like to always encapsulate my 3D decals with 2 layers of gel base. And you'll see when my mani comes, they still have a 3D effect to them. They're just not like the super 3D effect that you would get if you only did 1 thin layer of gel base and then 1 thin layer of gel top. The nice thing about gels with these is it really keeps them in place. Some of you might be saying, hey Nicole, I have a gel allergy. I can't use gels. I don't have a light, or I don't like gels. Well, I got you. I have a video on how you apply decals with only dip liquids. So check it out next. Thanks so much for joining me today, nail crew.